Right now, a group of veterans in Amarillo is proposing the creation of a special court that would help veterans who encounter the criminal justice system.
Veterans courts already exist in other parts of Texas, and they could become a reality in the Panhandle if local authorities agree to set up an alternative judicial system just for ex-military personnel. Investigative reporter David Grasso-Ortega is here to explain what a veterans court in our area could look like. Good evening, David.
Larry, Lisa, the Veterans Court is designed to be a special court that tries cases involving veterans who have illnesses related to their military service. Essentially, it's a veterans-based parole program. I spoke to one young lady who says she would have greatly benefited from such a program had it been available when she had her run-ins with the law.
Sunray native and Navy veteran Ali Cadena works with a military service organization in town, and she is especially passionate about bringing a veterans court here to Amarillo because of her own experience with the criminal justice system that she encountered while trying to transition to civilian life.
When that happened, I was right out of the military. It was a mistake I made because I didn't know how to handle what I was feeling, what my triggers were. As it was mentioned earlier, I had no idea that I had PTSD.
Cadena says her post-traumatic stress disorder caused her to act out. Now she has a criminal record and it's hard for her to find a job. She wishes she had instead had her case tried by a judge familiar with veterans' issues.
To help me get better myself instead of throwing me into jail and putting a record behind me that's only going to hinder me more.
But that raises the question, why should veterans be given the privilege of having a special court system? Tasha Paxton Barnes of the Military Veteran Peer Network says that this isn't about special treatment, it's about understanding.
Having been a veteran, I don't expect special treatment at all. I don't even want special treatment. But clearly when you go through not only your training, but what you expose yourself to in war, that changes you.
And it's not just the veterans community who's rallying behind the idea of a veterans court. The VA is also aboard.
The VA is very supportive of supporting a veterans court. We are very supportive of getting veterans into treatment.
In order to be eligible for a veterans court, you would have to have a proper diagnosis from the VA prior to committing a crime. And the crime you committed would have to be a contributing factor in the offense.
The diagnosis would be anything that is military related that is causing that veteran to behave in a manner that is not acceptable to society, which is most common drinking, PTSD, triggers that are caused from the PTSD.
The case would then be tried by a judge who is familiar with veterans' issues, perhaps even by a veteran. Norman Bearden, a Veterans Resource Coordinator, says that these special courts give veterans a second chance.
We feel that those different ways can be more productive as far as a veteran is concerned than just, locking them up or giving them probation or whatever the case may be.
And everyone we spoke with says that it's hard to transition back to civilian life and that there may be roadblocks when trying to solve personal problems.
They want to go it alone. They believe that they have the skills because the military does train veterans so well. They believe they can do it independently.
Tomorrow we'll look at how feasible a veterans court would be here in Amarillo by talking to a district court judge and finding out how veterans who've committed crimes can have their records expunged if they meet all the guidelines of their parole.
All right, thank you very much, Dave.